Hey everyone, we are back. I'm sorry I didn't talk about Lomachenko and Oliveira because I was sick last week. Yeah, I couldn't talk. It was bad. Like, I couldn't go like 30 seconds without coughing. I'm probably going to cough in today's episode. I'm going to try and edit it out when I can remember. So yeah, we're back. Episode 218 of the Fight Library. I'm your host, Blaine Henry, and today we are talking about UFC Vegas 45, Derrick Lewis versus Chris Daukaus. And we got a couple fights on there we're going to talk about. Before we get into the episode, please drop a sub, drop a review. It is great for the channel. Drop a comment too. Tell me what you thought about the fights, because that's great. Follow me on Twitter, Blaine Henry TFL. You can find that pretty much anywhere. So yeah. I put it on the little pop-up thing that's right here. So, yeah. So follow me on Blaine Henry TFL on Twitter. Come tell me, hey, I'm from wherever you're watching from. If you want to support the show even further than a share or a like or a comment, there's always Patreon or Rockfin. Patreon is really simple, $5 a month, and I give you new content every Monday. It could be about boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, of course. Just did the career rewatch of Khabib, episode 3, which was Thiago Tavares, his third fight in the UFC. A pretty nice knockout. Rockfin is a very similar thing, and yeah. So let's dive in. UFC Vegas 45, Derrick Lewis versus Chris Daukaus. That was a banger of a fight, but we're going to start off from the bottom. Mateusz Gamrot versus Diego Ferreira, because that was the fight I cared about. Oh, wait, I want to... I got to talk about something first, because it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Earlier on the prelims, we saw... Who was it? Oh, I don't know. It was in north-south position. I'm trying to pull it up right now. It was Parzan and Don'Tale Mayes. So Don'Tale Mayes is in north-south. And he starts humping this guy. He was humping him in the head, which is actually pretty cool because the cup hits him in the head. Oh my God, I've watched that about 10,000 times and I haven't stopped laughing about it yet. So I had to talk about it on the podcast. Go look it up. It's just, he's humping him. Like, literally, it's oh, man. So, Mateusz Gamrot and Diego Ferreira. I was looking forward to this fight the most on the weekend. So, Diego Ferreira, he's an older guy now. He's been on the podcast once at least. And he looked, good coming into this fight. He missed his last fight. He missed weight his last fight. He made weight this time, and Gamrot, they've given him 3 really good grapplers in a row. They gave him Benny, they gave him Gregor Gillespie, and now they gave him Gamrot. So he's been kind of the litmus test for these grapplers going up, and they've all succeeded, Gamrot included. Ferreira started off good early, but we know he has some cardio issues. We saw that in the Gillespie fight. So he starts off with the teep to the body. He does some body work, and I think that would have paid off dividends, and rightfully so, because, it's teep to the body. It's going to wear your cardio out. Plus, it hurts. Like, it's a really good strike. Anyway, so he does that. Gamrot gets in, he shoots, and gets behind Ferreira, but Ferreira scrambles up. Now, the scrambles in this fight were top-notch. Some of the best I've ever seen. I really liked the scrambly scrambles. I liked it with his last 2 fights. Like, Gregor Gillespie scrambles were great. And then the Beneil Dariush fights were great. Just like the Ben Askren Damian Maia fight. It was fantastic. Ferreira does a good job. He mixes up his stances. He'll step through his punches, kind of like Dustin Poirier. That's going to be a topic I talk about in depth probably middle of next year. I'm working on a headbutt piece that you guys will like. But I want to talk about the step through also. So yeah, Gamrot again shoots in on a double. Work on the ground now. He can't get much done. Ferreira does a good job of not letting him get any damage at all. One thing I do like about what Ferreira did, a lot of heavy leg kicks, and they hit hard. I mean, they are heavy. So yeah, Gamrot, he feinted with a level change and went for a double. Just couldn't get it going early on. Round 2 comes in, and Gamrot, he still has a stiff jab. For an ADCC champion, he's very, very adept on the feet, and we saw that in his last fight, or second to last. Not the Stevens fight, the one before that, because the Stevens fight, he was like, I'm not playing with this guy on the feet. I'm gonna take him down. So, he did some really weird Mortal Kombat sweep type things. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not as adept on grappling. I'm not as knowledgeable about grappling as I am on striking, but it was weird. Go look at it. It was early in the second round. He was getting hammered, though, standing up. Diego did a good job of getting some really good shots off, hitting him hard. And about midway through round 2, he was looking absolutely hammered. I'm talking pretty bad. He was looking tired. Anyways, so Ferreira, he's just so good at scrambling. And eventually, Gamrot gets the fight to the ground. And he gets behind Ferreira. And they're against the fence. And Gamrot fires a giant knee from behind into the kidney of Diego Ferreira, and Ferreira's like, hey, I tap. Unfortunately, Jason Herzog didn't hear it at first, and he ate another knee to the leg, and Gamrot went in for a choke. He was like, oh, he's not defending himself. And that's no fault to Gamrot. I understand what was going on there, and Herzog, unfortunately for him, he didn't catch it in time, which, I mean, mistakes happen, and we're not going to call him the next Herb Dean or anything like that. Anyway, so Masvidal Gamrot, he won, and I really like him. Oh my gosh, he's one of my favorite prospects of lightweight, and him versus Islam Makhachev in the future is going to be fantastic. He caught out Michael Chandler, which is a good fight for him, honestly, but I don't think they're going to give him to Chandler. I think they want to give Chandler a win because, yeah. Let's move on to the next fight. Raphael Assuncao versus Ricky Simón. Simon's great. He was in top 15, and then he, got hammered by Uriah Faber, which kind of sucked. But this was a good fight for him. Assuncao was 13, and yeah. So, Simon, he's kicking Assuncao in the nuts early. But on that kick, it was like 10 seconds into the fight. On that kick, Assuncao answered. He stepped in on the kick and had a nice jab, snapped Simon's head back. Simón has a nice check hook when he's pushing forward. Yeah, his takedowns are great though. That's what he's known for. So, he shifts right and then he shifts left, and he shot in for the hips, and he got Assuncao to the ground, but Assuncao did a good job of controlling his arm and not letting him do whatever he wanted. Made that fight a little bit harder for Ricky Simón. Simón eventually, he got Assuncao and he slammed him. It was great. Round 2. Simón is backing Assuncao up again. He threw a lead hook to the body, and then he comes up with a jab up top, and then a right. So he jabs with his left. He a lead hook to the body, comes back up, jabs up top, and then comes over the top and lands clean. And Assuncao, boom, falls against his butt on the cage. It was beautiful though. I really liked it because the change in directions. We're gonna talk about change in directions when I talk about Jake Paul in the next episode. But the change in direction, really misdirection, is great. We saw him go right, left, shoot for the hips when he in the first round. This one he changed levels up and down. So fighting's not a 2D space. It's not Mortal Kombat. It's a 3-dimensional fight where you have. It's technically 4-dimensional because you got time too. You have to take it to advantage, even though you can't manipulate it. That's nerdy stuff. I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, so Ricky Simón defeated Raphael Assuncao via TKO. Great time. Changing levels and misdirection and all that. He did a good job on that, and I was happy to see him get in there and get another top 15 win because I like Ricky Simón. I think he's one of the better prospects in the division. I also wrote an article about him pooping because he tweeted about it, and I thought that was funny. Next up, my heart was broken, man. Stephen Thompson and Belal Muhammad. Smaller cage. Didn't do any justice for Wonderboy. Didn't help him out none. And the whole fight was pretty boring because Belal Muhammad's really good. So we saw Belal Muhammad just push him to the cage over and over again. Anytime Wonderboy would have a chance to get up, he did. And he would win the fight. He was winning the fight, and Muhammad's like, no, I can't do this. So he gets in on the hips again. It's crazy to think about, though, because Stephen Thompson used to be like, oh, he has such great takedown defense. He does. It's so great. And it's not. Not anymore, at least. I don't know if he's old and he's missing a step, but yeah. So, early round 2 starts piecing him up again, and Muhammad pushes him against the fences. This is really the same story as the Gilbert Burns fight for Stephen Thompson. It was ugly, man. It was ugly. Round 3, Muhammad immediately shoots for the hips and pushes Thompson to the fence like a tractor. Just gets him to the fence. Wonderboy shot for a guillotine near the end of the round to get the reverse. It was actually pretty cool. But they got up. Wonderboy pieces him up for a second, and Muhammad shoots a takedown in the center of the cage. And he gets him out in the center where Thompson, he did a good job against the fence, wall walking, but in the center of the cage, he really didn't know how to get up. So, kind of sucked. I like Stephen Thompson. I wanted him to win a belt. I was sure he was going to win a belt against Tyron Woodley. He didn't. And I was sure he was going to get a shot to win another belt against Kamaru Usman. I gave him a good shot against Kamaru, and he lost to Gilbert Burns and Belal Muhammad now. Good for Belal, though, getting a win over a top 5 opponent. He'll probably be ranked 5 or 6 coming into the new rankings, but they might run the Leon Edwards fight back, but I doubt it. They're going to let the division shake out a little bit. But Muhammad's good. Does he beat Usman? Probably not. But a good win for Belal Muhammad. Main event time, not much to talk about. Chris Daukaus versus Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast. Daukaus, early on, you could tell he wanted Derrick Lewis to go first. He wouldn't engage at first. And then he starts throwing a jab and a leg kick. If you remember, Cyril Gane had a lot of success eating up the legs of Lewis with the leg kick, and I think Daukaus had that plan as well. It was kind of weird, too. They got an exchange, and Lewis threw his right hand hook, but he was off to the side, so it was right up the middle, and it landed, and Daukaus ate it. And I was like, uh-oh. Do we got a new chin in the division? So Lewis, eventually, he gets tired of waiting, and he pushes Daukaus to the fence, just starts swinging and banging, like, bam, 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 bam. And, Daukaus survives, pushes up, and he starts to swing back. Mistake. Lewis grabs him by with his left hand, effectively grabbing his power, and starts winging right hands in there, and Daukaus folds. But post-fight, Derrick Lewis unties his pants, and everybody's like, oh, he's going to say my balls are hot or something. And he takes his cup out, and he throws it into the crowd. And when Bisping asked him why he did that, he's like, I'm going to sell it as an NFT, showing us that he does not know what NFTs are, and it's hilarious. So, yeah, great night of fights. Last UFC card for the year. We got some boxing I'll be talking about. I'll probably do a post-fight on Ryzen. But, yeah, this is the last MMA pretty much for the year, except for maybe Ryzen. It's been a ride. So, yeah. Before I let you go, I want to tell you guys about my new piece, Saenchai Facing a Giant. Right here. Check it out because it was really fun. Talked to 5 fighters about Saenchai, the Nak Muay legend, and it's free. You don't have to pay for that. It's on the website. The link is in the description. I worked hard on it. It's a fun piece, and I think you guys would enjoy it because it's all about representing the sport of Muay Thai, and that's what's most important in that sport is the representation of the sport itself. So, Ajin Topic is on it, Sean Clancy, Valeria Bremko, and 2 others, Victor Conesa, and I'm forgetting the 5th one. Oh well. Anyways, guys, so check it out. I am going to catch you on the Jake Paul episode. Later.